The biggest mistake that you can ever do is telling yourself that you are perfect and that you don't need the world, or rather, the world doesn't need you and you don't fit into this world. That is utter BS, ladies and gentlemen, and that is exactly what Kai Cenat is trying to show us. And it is right that I shared with you guys my 2 cents on this. We are not going to watch his video where he talks about him quitting, all his new ventures, but rather there's this certain video that really spoke to me that is posted on his Instagram, and it was right that I shared with you guys. And then you're going to dive into some philosophical takes on what it means to outgrow your former self. So with that said, let's enjoy the video.
Speaking, if you look at the paper, it's like, damn, this nigga done did a lot of shit streaming. And the way I think I told you, or whoever I told, but I look at it as like this, bro. Streaming, or whatever the industry that we're in right now, it's like a track field. It's like everybody want on this track field, everybody want on this track field. If somebody does good and runs off and beyond the track field, like he gets out of that circle, he runs out of it, and then like when you do something big, like for example, like you hear, and then like Mafia Don 3, I feel like I achieved more than just that track field, and I feel like what I learned from my other Mafia Dons, what I learned from Sheen University, what I learned from my big projects, I feel like people don't digest shit in front of them and take it for what it is. So when I leave, it's like I feel like if I was to come back to shooting so fast and just go back like nothing happened, don't work on anything I want to do, it's like I'm back in the rotation, and I hate that feeling. It's like, bro, I feel like I did something great that people got to digest. So it's like I'd rather be here and then do more shit like dead ass and just to always have shit, but always not forget like streaming is where I stem from. So have that on my hip, and a lot of the shit that I do stem it through streaming.
So basically, what I'm taking from this video is that he does not want to be in a shell. He does not want to be in this box where, for the rest of his, life, or rather, days, him when he's at the top, being this streamer, right? He wants to where he is at now, at the point that he has, reached. He wants to do things that he is envisioning. He wants to climb into another gate, go into another level of stardom, so to say, if that makes sense. At least to me, that is how I interpret it, right? And it makes sense, ladies and gentlemen, because if not all, we want to not be in the same place in our lives forever. I mean, that is if you are comfortable in being where you are, that is up to you. But I feel like many of us, especially me, I do not want to be the same place that I am in my life. I do not want to be that guy who was the same person as I was last year. Funny thing, and the thing is, this is coming after a time where I really had a very difficult year, or rather in the past 2 years, rather maybe let's say 3 years, I have not had the best of you know myself, rather I have not been able to reach those goals that I really wanted to, because life has been lifing. But I do not put it as an excuse, you get me? Because I know now what I need to do. I'm a grown man, and there's things in my life that I've decided wholeheartedly that I want to change, and slowly by surely that is going to happen. And that is exactly that what is Kai Cenat is showing us, right? He's becoming another man, so to say. The old boy is now fading away and a new man is coming to life. I mean, if we come to think of it, let's take, for example, even wrestlers. Let's say, for example, Dwayne Johnson, right? He was a wrestler at one point in his life, right? And maybe he could have been one of the greats in wrestling. To some extent, he is, but you can't put him in the same box as John Cena, right? And instead of staying in that box, he decided, you know what, I want to, with this little that I have earned, or not money, not financial wise, but like um, in the industry's connection that he's gotten, let me try to break free into this art. And that is exactly what he's done. And he's been one of the biggest stars when it comes to film and whatnot. And he's been able to make something off of himself, build businesses, build a brand, build an empire, and change his entire family. That is exactly what it's about, man. Not being in this box, not being afraid to try things, I was saying in a cynical stream that he was saying that many times he was afraid of what people will think of him. Maybe he wanted to do something. I was like, you know what? Maybe nah. people are gonna talk, because the internet is always going to talk, whether you're right or wrong. I mean, when he was talking about his mental health, people are saying, how is it that a rich person, with all the blessings that he's gotten, that he's not happy with himself, man? And you get to see that we are all humans, that we all face challenges from the highest of the highest to the lowest of the lowest. It is just how it is. I think it is how, I guess, if you believe in God, that is how the universe was made. You get me? And so, with that said, this got me going into a sort of rabbit hole on why this happens, on how to accept the former self. To some extent, I'm gonna put the links of these two beautiful articles written by very interesting minds in the description below. After finishing this video, please go and read it out. It's also gonna help open your mind, So let's read it out. So the first one is being shedding the shell. I'm gonna read it out by placing some stock footage so that you don't get bored, right? So shedding, a seasonal activity that most living things go through in some way or another. Trees shed their leaves and bark seasonally. It's not a sign of the plant dying, but an indicator of further growth. Dogs also go through a season of shedding their fur to get rid of the old, unneeded, damaged, or dead fur to make room for a new coat. Snakes shed their skin. Humans also shed millions of skin cells every day, and the cells are constantly being renewed. Crabs, though, unlike humans, don't have skin. They have a hard outer layer that does not grow with them. So, on the inside, in preparation for shedding season, they form another shell under the surface until it's time to break out of the old shell which contained them into an enlarged space. God is longing for his people to break out of the small spaces they are living in and shed the old shells containing them. It's shedding season, the article writes. The extent to which we personally get free is the extent to which we are able to minister freedom to others. That's very deep. We're going to come back to that later. This is a calling we all have in life, regardless of whether we have a title or position. We are called as children of God to be a people marked by freedom and ministers of freedom. This is both our inheritance and destiny. 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 17 to 18. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord who is the Spirit. Every living thing is conditioned to grow to the extent of the environment it lives in permits. In the same way, humanity is also conditioned by external environments. Our growth is enhanced or inhibited by the people, places, and things we surround ourselves with. That is very deep, ladies and gentlemen. I've taken a few things from this. First being, to the extent to which we personally get free is the extent to which we're able to minister freedom to others. This is a calling we have in life. That is true, ladies and gentlemen, man. I feel like the fact that he is able to have this enlightenment and say, you know what, I'm going to share it with the people, with my community, those who really F with me, my journey into being this whole other guy, diving into a new direction, into this new purpose in my life, goes to show that, you know what, oh, this guy really wants to show that there's another level, or rather, you can really tap into this level of freedom within you. I know I'm repeating myself, but you get what I'm saying. You're no longer chained. Personally, I feel the same way because, as I told you guys, I've really taken a very big decision in my life to, like, this year, really, I want to make things change, make things work, and you're gonna be my accountability partner. And yeah, man, because I really want this channel to reach 100,000 subscribers. That is really one of the things that I want to do this year, and I know it is possible because anything is possible. If this guy, a kid who from the Bronx, a kid from the ghetto, where it is said that not many actually get out of that place and even make it to the top of the top, and he has done it, who am I not to? You get me? A kid who has the internet, a kid who has a laptop, who am I not to? And with that said, why don't you subscribe if you're learning a thing or two from this video, right? That is just me. So tell me in the comments what you learned from this beautiful piece that I'm from reading to you guys. This other article says, outgrowing the life you once wanted. It says, you are not meant to stay the same. At every stage of your life, there's been a version of who you dream of what you have now. The city you once longed to live in, the career you pushed yourself toward, the relationship that felt like home. You worked for it, wished for it, and maybe for a while it was everything you needed. But something feels different now. You don't feel the same excitement walking through the streets you used to love. The goals that once gave you purpose now feel like obligations. The people who once made you feel seen now feel like strangers. Maybe you've been holding on to something, not because it still fits, but because letting go feels like admitting defeat. Like closing the door on a version of yourself that once made you happy, so you ignore the feeling. You convince yourself to keep showing up, to keep pouring energy into something that no longer fills you back. You make excuses. Maybe I'm just being impatient. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe I should be just grateful for what I have. But deep down, you know, the spark is gone. The weight of staying feels heavier than the fear of leaving. Let's just stop there for a minute. I just want to also now come back to my story and just say from when I reached 12 years old, really loved football. I really wanted to make it pro. I had trained so hard. I really was fighting for my opportunities. And for a very long time, I was just in patterns, so to say, or rather, there was lots of ups and downs. I mean, many stories are like that, but it came a point where I was like, nah, I don't have that fire in me anymore. It feels like it's just work. It's not fun anymore, you know? You have to have, you have to enjoy something so that, I guess, to make something out of it, but it was no longer the same for me. It was like, you know what, I have to make it, like, I have to make it. And look at me now. I'm a guy who is now really trying to be a YouTuber, but in this regard, it's no longer the same feeling as I had when I was that footballer, right? When I mean football, I mean a soccer player to my American viewers. Yeah, so that is just me. So let's just continue. But deep down, you know, the spark is gone. The weight of staying feels heavier than the fear of leaving. It's easy to mistake this feeling for restlessness, dissatisfaction, or even failure. But maybe it's not that something is wrong. Maybe it's just that you've outgrown the life you once built. And that's hard to accept because if you once wanted it so badly, if it once fit so perfectly, should it always feel that way? The truth is, we are made of many versions of ourselves, and sometimes we outgrow the dreams of the people we used to be. But it's not rejection, it's expansion. Yeah, so you can go and read it out fully after this video. It's a very interesting piece, man, and I'm like, yo, it really hits home and it really exemplifies what Kai Cenat is going through at the moment. And even, so to say, KSI, even Speed, you know, everyone is trying to become something more of what they were. They don't want to be in this box. And I feel like through this video, hopefully, I have inspired that baby boy, that girl, that father, that mother, that aunt, that grandma, just to grow. Like, just try, you know, that idea. Don't be afraid because you don't want to die and your spirit seeing your dead body and say, you know what, there's a lot of things that I did not do. Do it now, and by the time you're in your deathbed, at least you say, you know what, I tried. Even though maybe I did not become that millionaire, but I tried. I reached maybe 900,000 dollars. You know, I tried making it pro. It was fun. I made friends. I learned a lot, and I'm gonna pass these lessons to my children. I tried being a chef, but I did not make it to be a private chef. But I was co-owning a restaurant. I tried becoming a YouTuber, but I did not make it to 100,000 subscribers, but I made it like 90K. Or I did not get that diamond plaque or that golden plaque, you know? That is what I want to, you guys, my people who are watching, to become, because I'm a very philosophical guy, and many a times also there was a time that I was afraid to showcase my face. I was just being you know, the voiceover and just doing this scripted work, and I was afraid, you know. But I just came to a realization, like, why am I afraid, man? Like, who's gonna stop me? Who cares, man? At least if I don't care, then I don't give a shit about who's behind the screen, who wants to comment. Let them say, but I know what I want, because I really wanted to sound intelligent. But what is really sounding intelligent, if you come to think of it? Ask yourself that. Anyway, that has just been me. That's my 2 cents. Please do like, comment, subscribe if you find this very thought-provoking, very educative, and maybe it has inspired you or motivated you to change something in your life. If not, just continue striving, and the world, or rather the grass is all, I don't know, but just keep being you, and love your mom, drink some water, touch grass, and that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.